All right. Terminator Survivors, y'all. Let's talk about it. The recently announced open world survivor game by developer slash publisher NACON. You might have heard their name. They also recently published RoboCop Rogue City, and they also published Terminator Resistance. Now, they're not the same developer, same publisher, but not the same developer. But it was just announced that we're going to get an open world survivor like Terminator game. And for my Terminator fans out there, y'all have got to be like hyped right along with me for the potential of this game. Nancon has had pretty good they've had pretty good success with their IPs. Terminator Survivors is going to be based off of the canon from the first two movies. It's set to take place a few years after Terminator 2 Judgment Day in the year 2009. And this is actually before the discovery of Skynet and also before the revelation of Terminators, if you will, before they started to, infiltrate survivor compounds and survivor camps. So according to the publisher and developer NACON, Terminator Survivors will feature an original complex storyline, one that also further expands on the original timeline. So it's interesting to see the direction they go here. The fact that they also said that we're going to see, characters that we have come to know and love in the original movies, mainly the first two. I mean, Genesis was okay, but we're not going to talk about that right now. But it's interesting to see the direction they're going with this new timeline in the game and just the overall story altogether. See, me as a gamer, I'm all for, story-driven open world games. And then you throw in the survivor element, and then you also throw in the lore and everything we come to love, say, in the Terminator universe, then sign me up. Like, literally take my money. Because we had Terminator Resistance, which mixed reviews. You either hated it or you loved it. The popularity behind the game, the polarization behind the game, y'all, was typically split between two different type of gamers or two different type of audiences. So I recently just picked up the game. I'm also going to review it here in 2024, way before Terminator Survivor comes out. So do be sure to hit the like button for me if you haven't yet, and subscribe to catch that video or catch that review when it drops. The open beta is set to start on October 24th of 2024. So I'm not sure if that date has any relevance to the canon or the lore in Terminator, but I'm going to go ahead and play the beta, and definitely going to sign up for the beta as soon as it's available over on Steam, over on the PC. You can play it on the PS5 and Xbox Series XX. But sorry, previous generation console gamers, you guys and gals might just have to be left out until you either upgrade your gaming console or switch over to, say, building a modern gaming PC. Which not much was shown in the direct or the teaser trailer, and both about 3 minutes of total footage. Not much was shown other than a CGI fest or a CGI feast, if you will, which is becoming an unpopular trend here in modern teasers or even just trailers altogether. I mean, don't even get me started on that last Ronin teaser trailer. But here with the Terminator Survivors teaser, we got nothing but a CGI fest here, just to get an idea, I guess, of the graphic and the visual art style, or how the game's overall presentation is going to be presented to us gamers. I mean, there was literally nothing gameplay related shown. They did mention, or NACON did mention, that it's going to be a first-person shooter. So, I mean, we know what the perspective is going to be, but I am concerned about Terminator Survivors being a first-person shooter only. Terminator Survivors will be in beta initially, so that means that, some of the upgrades or the changes that gamers are going to come to request will be that popular over-the-shoulder style that we all have come to love here recently. But as a player, NPC, or populace, you won't know about the existence of the Termies or Skynet. Termies, I'm branding that, y'all. Termies, that's what we're calling it going forward, y'all. The Terminator, the Termies, that's what they're called. But as a world, up until that point in timeline, you're not aware at all of Skynet. At least the powers to be might have known, but they probably have all perished initially at Judgment Day. But in this timeline, the people aren't quite aware of Skynet or Terminator. So the first time you encounter them is going to be a whoa moment, even for maybe us as a player, but definitely for, the NPC or the characters in the game. With that said, it also does appear that there's only going to be maybe one Terminator featured in the game, maybe at a time. I mean, the lead representative from NACON did, specifically say Terminator as in a singular noun. So as it stands, you're only going to be pursued or hunted by one Terminator. Although I will say it will be really dope or neat that if you and your companions are able to destroy one of the termies, that Skynet sends another one after you, and it's just like a ongoing process that you really technically never truly feel safe. I mean, they also did mention that there's going to be base building and base crafting. So I imagine you're also going to have to like scavenge for components and different parts to add onto your base and to build like your defensive camp or defensive structure. So these are all interesting angles or systems in a game that I'm hyped to get my hands on. Again, especially with it being a Terminator property, y'all. Again, I haven't played a modern Terminator property, that being Terminator Resistance, but I am going to fire it up and give it a chance, y'all, and give it last verdict. But with there essentially not much shown to give us anything to really go by off of. I mean, I'm hyped for Terminator Survivors. I'm hyped for the concept, if you will. Like I'm hyped for the premise of the game. If I was in a pitch meeting, I'm going along with this. I'm like, yeah, I can get behind this. Like financially, I can support this. I can back this. Unfortunately, it also could be a game-based service or a live-based game. I mean, that could be both a good thing and a bad thing. It does have a single player and a multiplayer co-op a mode you can play in the game, but will they add DLC and other items and tokens you can buy to enhance your experience in Terminator Survivors? Probably so. We also don't initially know how much the game is going to cost. Will it fall somewhere along the lines of where NACON has priced some of their previous games like RoboCop Rogue City and what have you? So will Terminator Survivors fall somewhere in between there in their price category? I mean, that's another factor that just it can't be applied to the hype level right now. But again, I am hyped for the process. I'm hyped for a Terminator game. I'm hyped for the concept of it being a survival game, and you're going to have other humans that you may have to encounter and fight. You may also have lower tiered Skynet bots coming after you, and even animals and wildlife. So this is going to be an interesting time, y'all, coming up here on October 24th, especially if you're a Terminator fan. So let me know down in the comment section below, are you hyped for Terminator Survivors? And are you going to play it when it comes out on the beta, or will you just wait until the game is completely released? Because we won't know how long Terminator Survivors will be in beta. But that's all I got for this one, y'all. If you haven't yet, hit the like button for me on your way out of this video. Subscribe if you haven't yet to the Unlimited Mags podcast, and I do hope to catch you all in the next one. So until then, be easy.